And anyway, so check that out. Yeah, and once again, we have like 15 minutes left in the show. So I mean, it's like, hey, if you want to call in, be a part of the show, you want to make your voice heard, go down in history, go down in immortality, in the annals of immortality. Call in, ladies and gentlemen. I beseech you. Okay, so that number is that call-in number is 917-932-8806. Once again, that is 917-932-8806. Or you could drop by the chat room as well. And to do that, you just go to blogtalkradio.com/Charles Lamson, and that'll take you to my Blog Talk Radio site, and there'll be a chat link there, and you could come hang out in the chat room and give me some ideas for upcoming shows, or if you think I'm wrong about something, please point out my bullshit. Lord knows I'm not an expert on most of the stuff I talk about. I'm just a radio geek, audiovisual geek, if you will, and I don't know, I just like reading this kind of stuff and then sharing it with people. So, but yeah, let me check out the chat room real fast. Yeah, chat activity has been very slow tonight, but I want to thank once again. I want to thank Richard Gaspa for dropping by, and giving me some good positive feedback, and lets me know I'm on the right track. So, thank you, Richard. Okay, so let's finish this baby up, shall we? Let's put this baby to bed, as they say. Okay, let's do it. Dropa stone discs. So, like I said, they were pretty much the bureaucracy of the Red China government. Just shoved those discs in a warehouse for 20 years. Here and there, a geeky Chinese person would study the discs, and like I said, there was this guy by the name of Dr. Soong Nui of Beijing around 1958. And he concluded that each groove actually consisted of a series of hieroglyphs of unknown pattern and origin. The rows of hieroglyphs were so small that a magnifying glass was needed to see them clearly. Many of the hieroglyphs had been worn away by erosion. When Dr. Soong deciphered the symbols, they told the story of the crash landing of the Dropa spaceship and the killing of most of the survivors by local people. That's right. Welcome to Earth. I gotta repeat this in case I read over this pretty fast. Okay, but when Dr. Soong deciphered the symbols, they told the story of the crash landing of the Dropa spaceship and the killing of most of the survivors by local people. Yeah, so yeah, the local people were having no part of these aliens. So, oh man, I don't even know. Is that funny? I don't know. Tragic. I mean, it's tragic, of course, but dang, it's just it's funny, you know. The aliens come out of the sky, and it's like all of a sudden everyone's like, "Screw these guys, let's kill them!" It's like, what the fuck? According to Dr. Soong Nui, one of the lines of the hieroglyphs reads, "The Dropas came down from the clouds in their aircraft. Our men, women, and children hid in the caves 10 times before sunrise." The Chinese are so poetic. When at last they understood the sign language of the Dropas, they realized that the newcomers had peaceful intentions. Oh, that was their first mistake. To have peaceful intentions here on Earth? No, you can't do that. Another section expresses regret by the Ham that the aliens they crash land in such a remote, inaccessible mountain range, and there had been no way to build a new craft to enable the Dropas to return to their planet. So, Dr. Soong, that's by the way, reports that supposedly he reported all this stuff, and all of his findings appeared in a professional journal in 1962. He was subsequently ridiculed to the point of self-imposed exile in Japan. Where he died. The Peking Academy of Prehistory never allowed him to publish and never speak of his findings. Soong Nui is not a real Chinese name, and critics suggest that Dr. Soong may not have actually existed. However, Soong Nui is a Japanese name adapted to Chinese language. So there is no evidence of him beyond the Dropa allegations. Further research done on these Dropa stone discs. In 1965, Professor Chi Pute, that is a Chinese name, by the way, and 4 of his colleagues were finally given permission to reveal their theory. They published it under the title The Grooved Script Concerning Spaceships, which, as recorded on the discs, landed on Earth 12,000 years ago. I love how the Asians, man, when they title stuff, they have like 90 name titles. It's like they can't just come up with like a snappy little title. It has to be like a 90-word title. Anyway, gotta love the Asians. I love you, Asians. I really do. But so the records, some 716 groove discs later uncovered in the same caves. 716 groove discs were later uncovered in these same caves, and they tell an astonishing story of a space probe that was sent by the inhabitants of another planet. After landing at the Bayankara Ula mountain range, I can tell you that is a Tibetan, sort of a Tibetan word. So now we are, that is getting on that Chinese-Tibetan border. The scripts allegedly say the peaceful intentions of the aliens confused the members of the Ham tribe, inhabitants of the neighboring caves. Well, they hunted down and killed the extraterrestrials. Like I said earlier, welcome to Earth. Photos claiming to show. I highly recommend, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to see photos of these discs, just get on the internet and, this is internet-based radio, so I'm assuming most everyone is on the internet right now, podcasts. Some listen at work. But anyway, get on the internet and look up Dropa stone discs. That's D-R-O-P-A stone discs. And these things are really bizarre looking. Photos claiming to show Dropa discs are in fact bi-discs, thousands of which have been found throughout China and the southeastern provinces, which is, in general, that is close to that border region between Tibet and China. So these bi-discs, they range in size of a few inches to several feet, and they are most commonly made of jade or nephrite, with a round or square small central hole. Most bi-discs date to the Neolithic period, which is about circa 3000 BC. They are found, however, they are found up to the Shang Dynasty period. Bi-discs beyond the Shang period are usually more ornate. They're carved with dragons, snakes, and sometimes fish, and used in ritual ceremonies. Most Neolithic bi-discs were found in grave sites, and they were buried beneath the head or feet of the deceased. It is theorized that this was to assist the deceased's spirit. No bite discs have been found to contain writing or spiral grooves, however, as described in the Dropa story by authors such as Hartwig Hausdorff. How's that for a German name? The Dropa discs are said to be only 12 inches in diameter. However, one black and white photograph claimed by Hausdorff and others to display a Dropa disc clearly shows the disc resting on a seat, and it is clearly several feet in diameter and has no marking whatsoever. Okay, there's been some Russian research into these discs as well. Russian scientists asked to see the discs, and several were sent to Moscow for examination. That was nice of the Chinese. Guess we have sort of a red commie exchange of information going on. These discs were escaped free of rock particles, which had stuck to them, and then put through chemical analysis. To the surprise of the scientists, the discs contained large amounts of cobalt and other metallic substances. What is even more surprising, when they placed these discs on a special turntable, according to Dr. Vyacheslav Syzev, who described the experiments in the Soviet magazine Sputnik, these discs would vibrate or hum in an unusual rhythm, as though an electric charge was passing through them. Or, as one scientist suggested, as if they formed some part of an electrical circuit. At some time, they have cleared. Now, keep in mind, these Russians know their science. Granted, you could say what you want about socialism, but back in their heyday, they did have quite good scientific network going. Granted, they stole lots of Nazis after World War II and the brain drain, but I digress. So did our own country. But anyway, at some time, they have clearly been exposed to extraordinarily high voltages. They seem like ancient hard disks, spinning like the hard disks we have nowadays. Perhaps if we could read these ancient hard disks, we could find more answers. 90 seconds. In 1974, Ernst Wegerer, an Austrian engineer, photographed 2 discs that met descriptions of the Dropa stones. He was on a guided tour of the Banpo Museum in Xi'an. That's in China, by the way. When he saw the discs on display, he claims he saw a hole in the center of each disc, and hieroglyphs and partly crumbled spiral-like grooves. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I think this is a good place to stop for the night. Once again, I want to thank you so much for joining me this evening and listening in. I just want to throw a quick plug out there. We'll be here tomorrow night as well, 6:30 p.m. Central. We'll be talking more about these ancient astronauts. It's exciting stuff. I love this kind of stuff. So I think we'll probably be talking about this stuff for the rest of the week. So tune in. We'll have a great time. And ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you very much for tuning in. And we'll see you tomorrow night at 6:30 p.m. Central Time. Have a good night. Oh, shoot. I didn't mean to do that.